Sebastian Brooke, I know you have quite a bit to do with Doctor Who
Hmm.
online. I
Yep.
actually found you guys through Twitter and then through Facebook. And my husband and I and several of our Suzahdi customers are big fans of Doctor Who. And
Brilliant.
so I was wondering if you could tell us like about you in a basic timeline of
Hmm.
how you started and how you got to here.
Okay, so this is a potted history. I've been a big fan of Doctor Who since I was a kid. I actually went to boarding school when I was younger, and we watched it at the weekends. It was like our treat. So on a Saturday we would watch it. And back then they were doing reruns of the Tom Baker sort of episodes. There was one called Genesis of the Daleks that I remember, and it was just a story that every Saturday we were like tuning in for the next episode. We were looking forward to it so much, and I just loved it. I always loved it. Anyway, so then I went to secondary school over here, which is like high school over there. I still love Doctor Who, but obviously I was focusing on my work and everything. But in the background, I started to start up a little Doctor Who sort of polls and things like that online. So it was just for a bit of fun. And in 1996, because this is the sort of time frame that we're talking about, there was a brand new TV movie that came out with Paul McGann, which was a Canadian-American sort of a partnership. And it was during that particular time that after the actual episode aired, we were kind of like trying to contact the BBC to say, look, we need to do something with this. That we need to have a new TV series. So what we did was we did all these big polls on this website, which I started up, and it was originally called Doctor Who, the Regenerative Website, which is a bit of a mouthful. So we called it that, and we had polls and things like that, and we would send these polls off to the BBC and say, look, we've had all these fans sort of say that they really want the show back. What, can anything be done? So we just kept doing that, and then it wasn't until I think about 1999, I think it was, where I went to a signing, and at that signing I met Tom Baker.
In person.
Yeah. So I said and we had a little video camera, and I said, "Oh, could you say hello to Doctor Who, the Regenerative Website?" And then Tom, in his big booming voice, said, I think that's a terrible name. I think it's a horrible name. It's too much of a mouthful. Why don't you call it something similar, that's, simple, like egg.com or Doctor Who Online or something like that? And I was like, Doctor Who Online, that sounds quite catchy, actually. So I did a little look online, see if I could find it. And lo and behold, the domain was available. And then that's the site that we know today, Doctor Who Online. So thanks to Tom Baker, he called the site Doctor Who Online. So that's where we are. And then 2000 came, the new series, and it was a huge success. And as a result, the site just boomed. It just exploded, basically. So yeah.
Yeah, it's super popular, and you guys have thousands and thousands of followers. And because of you guys, so many things have happened that are good for us at Suzahdi. I'll give you a few examples.
Sure.
We were motivated by a lot of your fans and followers on Doctor Who Online Twitter to, hey, make something that makes us think back to Rose, the bad wolf.
Yeah.
And so I thought I would have it ready by today, and it's not ready, so I can't talk about it too much. I was going to show it.
You can tease us, though, can't you?
Yeah, it's a teaser. But I
Yeah.
really appreciate that. And we've gotten to know, like, the Doctor Whovian running club. It's like all over the world. My husband and I run. A lot of our customers are runners. And then there was another one. Oh, Discussing Who, which is based in Mississippi. They have some really deep, dark discussions about everything you can think about Doctor Who. Everyone's
great.
Yeah. And then last, and probably the most important, is with Doctor Who Online, we've gained a lot of new customers. The only jacket that we make right now, leather jacket wise, that is Doctor Who inspired, is something that looks like Chris Eccleston's.
Yeah.
And, I think we'd sold maybe 20 or so before we started advertising on Doctor Who Online. And we've sold a lot more than that since then.
Oh, wow. Well, that's good. Oh, that's fantastic.
Yeah, we appreciate that.
Oh, well, it's good. The great thing is also, I mean, just to sort of put it out there, when we started up our Twitter profile, I'd love to say it was part of a great big sort of marketing plan. You know, we had a great sort of foresight, but it wasn't. It was just sheer dumb luck, to quote Professor McGonagall from Harry Potter. So we have shared fandoms. It's good, but yeah, no, it was sheer dumb luck. We were one of the only sites out there at the time. We got a huge following, but then when we started putting a tweet out for your jackets, we saw a huge sort of pickup from that. There was a lot of people who were interested in them. Obviously, the quality of them really stood out as well, and I think there were some great reviews on there as well. So that's a testament to you guys as well.
Well, thank you. And you guys' style on social media is very interactive and very authentic feeling, and that's what people really like. They don't want, you know, social media updates that just sound like pure commercials, you know.
No, of course, yeah. We try to see. The thing is, because we're separate from the BBC, although we do work with them now and again, the great thing is we are completely independent. We have our own voice. So now and again, we will throw in some like little political sort of things now and again. You know, we have a little go at Trump now and again. So you know, so we put in a little tweet here and there for something like that, and it just
smart.
Yeah, it engages people a little bit more.
People want to talk about these things, so exactly, not a problem. Yeah.
You know, it doesn't have to be some taboo subject. You know, people who like Doctor Who also are, you know, politically minded. They like other movies, other brands, other fandoms. So it's good to sort of, you know, branch things out a little bit now and again.
Right. I totally agree. Tell me a little bit. I kind of got a feeling for it, but what are the goals of Doctor Who Online?
Okay, so our goal has always been that it's for fans by fans, or by fans for fans. So whatever we do, there always has to be fandom at its core. So, you know, whilst a lot of the things that we promote and a lot of the things that we put out there on our news page are official, we still have that tone and that voice of fandom as well. So we will encourage things like cosplay, articles by fans. One point I'd like to bring up recently was we had an autistic Doctor Who fan called Barry Aldridge, and I've always liked his tweets. He's a very sort of high functioning autistic Doctor Who fan, and I just loved his enthusiasm for the show, but also on the flip side, the fact that his disability also has a positive side to it, where he has this amazing memory, so he can recall a Doctor Who episode or an actor or something like that. So we actually said, well, look, we would like you to write an article for the site. So he wrote an article, and it was really good. It read really well. The UK Autistic Society picked it up and followed up with him. So, you know, things like that are actually really important, because it shows that there is a voice in fandom that maybe we haven't heard before. And the great thing is, having a site that allows that kind of platform is you know, a joy, really. So I'm really thankful for the fans that submit this content.
I like that. I will look that guy up. I'll look up the article.
Yeah, he's great. He's a lovely guy, yeah.
In your opinion, what do you think is the most divisive Doctor Who topic in 2018?
The most divisive Doctor Who topic in 2018 is having a female doctor. And I don't get it. I can understand. I mean, here's the thing. When it was first announced, I was of the opinion that the Doctor has always been a guy. So why would he all of a sudden now decide that he wants to be a woman? At least had all of these lives. And then what happened was I started to see a lot of negative comments from people saying, oh, we hate the fact that the Doctor's now going to be a woman, you know, the BBC are ruining the show. And actually it was from reading those negative comments that it actually made me think, hang on a minute, why do I have a hang up about this when, you know, and I'm reading these other comments from people who are truly hateful about the decision. It actually completely made me do a 180 on that. So I'm in complete support of it. I think it's a fantastic decision. It's going to take the show in a whole new direction. But no matter what happens, that divide has happened in fandom, and it is, I would say, having, you know, monitored the online side of it, it is quite a big divide. I think that the people that have an issue with it need to just either draw a line and walk away, or they need to draw a line and accept it, basically. And I think that we live in an age now where acceptance and diversity is a thing that should be very current and real. And I think, you know, Doctor Who is in a very privileged position to have the opportunity to have this message go out to everyone and say, look, yes, there's been this character all these years who's been male, but look, we're changing the goalposts here, and we're opening up and changing the dynamic of the show for a good reason, and now is the right time. So I think, you know, if we do lose a few fans as a result of it, then, you know, maybe it's not necessarily a bad thing. Maybe the right fans are walking away from the show.
Yeah.
And that's probably going to divide fans by that comment, but I think it's true.
Well, yeah.
You know, yeah.
And it makes me think there was another topic I had for you, so I'm going to skip a couple of the topics because Kevin really fits in here. Season 1, episode 2, one of my favorite Doctor Who episodes, The End of the World. And see, it looks to me like all kinds of creatures are accepting each other, like never seen on today's Earth. Yeah. But my husband says that it's just the wealthiest gathering to watch the Earth end itself, you know. But what do you think? What's your opinion?
Well, I think, well, you've got characters like Cassandra who were there for the wrong reason. They were there to sort of, you know, just to be seen, sort of, you know, it was kind of like a swanky party in outer space. I think some of the right people were there. You know, people like Jabe the tree. I'm remembering their names now for like the first time in years. By the way, Jabe the tree. I think Moxa Balhoun, he was another good character, but there were a couple of like shady ones, and I think they're the ones that were, see, the way Russell T Davies wrote it, he was very black and white with his characters. You can tell the good ones from the bad ones, and I think the right ones were there for the right reason, and I think the bad ones were there for the wrong reason. A bit like this divide in Doctor Who fandom. So, you know, I think there's a parallel there.
Yeah, thank you. I was wondering if you would describe some of the most intriguing Doctor Who paraphernalia that's available on Doctor Who Online. Like, I'm going to buy a TARDIS box. I'm talking with one of your customers about, I want to have one made that's going to be a little library in front of my house, and I have books. So
that's TARDIS Cabinets of Oregon? Yeah. Oh, he is amazing. Yeah. He honestly, I think the BBC need to give that guy a license because he does the most screen accurate just amazing. It's almost like a piece of art. You don't want to do anything with it, but he is amazing. But yeah, I think, funny enough, you pointed him out. He does the most amazing TARDIS replicas, and he does different sizes. He does like a Bad Wolf variant. So yeah, I think that's something that's really amazing. Another piece of merchandise that's just come out is the new 13th Doctor's sonic screwdriver. That's pretty cool. So that's got like a really cool little orange crystal on it, so that's good. There's a company in America called Crystal Carvings. They make these Doctor Who crystals of the TARDIS, and they've got like, and it's laser etched, so you've got the TARDIS, and then you've got one of the Doctors, you know, well, several of the Doctors are inside these little crystals, and then when the light hits them, it just looks amazing. So again, they're another really good one as well.
Wow.
And then, of course, you guys with your wonderful jackets. We can't forget those.
I feel a little unique. I know that there are a couple of people making some jackets that, I always forget his name, but he's in the thick of it also.
Oh, what the Peter Capaldi?
Yeah, that's it, Capaldi. Yeah. The one that looks like he's about to have a heart attack all the time. You know?
Yeah, that's right.
But we like him. He's pretty cool. And then I know some people are making some trench coats that look like our new Doctor that's coming out this fall. Yeah. Oh yeah, there's a big call for those at the moment. So yeah, we're going to see. This is the good thing about cosplay as well, is because you know, outside of the professional costumers or costumiers, you've also got the fans who like to make these jackets and costumes. It's just amazing. It's just such a creative fandom. It really is. It really is. I've enjoyed so much. I haven't had time lately, but I was really active on the forums, and I plan to get back on there soon. You have a lot of
it's about to explode with the new series as well, so you'll find it really good there.
Yeah, I learned so much from everybody. You know, I love reading. So in your opinion, social media platforms, you've got things like Reddit and Medium,
Hmm.
and you have Flickr, and you have Instagram and Facebook, LinkedIn,
Hmm.
Twitter. Which ones, in your opinion, are the most effective for you in connecting with Doctor Who fans, and what are the benefits?
Okay, so I've tried to dabble in quite a few of them to sort of test them out and find out what the best one is. And I've pretty much walked away from almost every single social media network apart from Twitter. Twitter is literally the number one. I love that instant connection with the fans, the instant reaction. Facebook is, we still sort of have a toe in Facebook as well. We sort of we replicate some of our news items and things on there, but we find that Twitter is just a little bit more, it's just a bit more, it's a little bit more interactive. The fact that you can do polls, the fact that people can correct you on things. I just find it really good. I just find it and it seems to be sort of evolving as well as times go on. Obviously, you get the occasional sort of keyboard warrior, but apart from that, no, I think it's a very, very powerful platform, and it's definitely my favorite.
It is one of my favorites too. What I see the difference is Twitter, everyone has to be concise, whether they're replying, retweeting, or adding a fresh update.
Yeah.
And so that helps. And then plus, when I compare our Facebook page to our Twitter page, we have about the same number of followers on each.
Yeah.
But the Facebook page doesn't get any views outside of your fans unless you boost a post, like an ad. Whereas Twitter, all you have to have are some hashtags.
That's right, yeah, and anyone can pick those up. All it takes is for someone who's got a verified account to sort of pick something up, and all of a sudden all of their followers will see that. So it really does, you can get really lucky and get a post that does really, really well. And it could be even the most non-post. It could be something really sort of off the wall, or just like you didn't even expect anything from it, and that could just explode and do really well for you.
That's right. Absolutely agree. So I want to come back to Doctor Who.
Yeah.
And you can change this some. If you don't want to pick an episode that infuriates you, then pick another verb, another action that it causes in you. What episode of Doctor Who infuriates you the most, and why?
Infuriates me the most. I think the one for me was an episode called Fear Her. I'm gonna be good here and pick one from the classic series and the new series. So from the new series, Fear Her, I think it just felt really what's the word? Boring, I think is the word I wanted to use. Nothing really happened in it apart from when David Tennant came with the Olympic torch at the end and everything. I think that was the episode. Yeah, it just felt a bit kind of like droll. Nothing really happened, and it's just one that I kind of forget, really. Or I want to forget. So yeah, I didn't like that one at all. Classic series story that I really didn't like. Again, I'm kind of going with a lot of fandom here, but Time Lash was another one. Again, for similar reasons. Nothing really happens in it. It has the makings of a potentially good story, but it just didn't sort of execute it very well. I hope you're going to ask me my favorite episodes in a minute, because I'm someone that likes to be more positive about Doctor Who than negative.
Okay. What are your favorites? What is your favorite? Yeah.
So the classic series is The Tomb of the Cyberman. I think it's the most amazing episode. So atmospheric. The music is amazing. The sets are amazing when you consider they did the whole thing on a shoestring budget. Yeah. It was just a fantastic episode. The new series, I still say to this day, one of my favourite episodes was Father's Day by Paul Cornell, where Rose goes back in time to try and prevent her dad from dying, and it was just a heartbreaking episode. So I think
it was.
Yeah, it's just to this day that really stands out to me, and really, really well written by Paul Cornell.
Wow. Well, I'll show you how much I'm a fan of Doctor Who when it was pulled from, I think it was pulled from Hulu or some channels that we can get in the United States. It was just pulled from everything, pulled from Disney and all that. And my husband and I were panicking, Yeah. So I went right out and bought all the DVDs.
Good. Nice one. Season 2.
Yes, I've actually bought them all. I have a whole stack of them.
Oh, brilliant. Oh, good for you. That's fandom done well.
All the way, yeah. So That way we can watch whenever we feel like it.
Exactly. Yes, that's good. See, what I've done as well, which I hope is legal, I'm sure someone will write in and tell me if it's not, is what I've done with all my DVDs is I've ripped them and put them onto my, I have like an Apple TV. So I do it so I can just watch it digitally anytime, just at the touch of a button. So I do it that way. So I bought all my DVDs. They're all nice and protected somewhere, but I've just done so I can just watch them. And it's great because you can put the little artwork on there and everything, which is really cool.
I like that idea. I'll have to do
it's
that.
good. Yeah, it's a good way of sort of having your own little library there as well.
I appreciate the tip. Well, you haven't really told us very much about you. We'd love to tell us about you.
Okay.
Whatever you want to talk about. You know, your education, your interest, your career path, entrepreneurship, things you do.
Yeah. So, right. Well, I guess my career paths led me to where I am at the moment. So I've always been into acting and drama and things like that, entertaining. You know, I'm an only child, so that probably says a lot. I always had to be the centre of attention growing up, and I then learnt whilst at at boarding school that I could make people laugh, or at least try to make people laugh. And then when I realised that you could have a captive audience by doing something entertaining, then I really discovered that I loved acting and sort of drama and things like that. So then when I left boarding school, I went to secondary school, the equivalent of high school, and I had a really good teacher there called Mrs. Berry, who taught me drama. And then I went on to college, which is not the same as your college. So that's like the equivalent of, what's that the equivalent of? It's kind of like, it's like the next step after high school, I believe.
Okay.
So I then did that and did a 2-year course in drama.
All right.
After that, I then went to drama school. So that was in London at East 15 Acting School. And then when I graduated from drama school, the reality hits that you've got to be able to support yourself as well as going out there for auditions. So it's a very hard profession to sort of maintain whilst having an essence of, you know, normality and life and everything. So that's where the Doctor Who site in 2005, it all happened sort of purely by accident, but that's when people started sort of emailing us saying, oh, we'd love to advertise on Doctor Who online. And I think one of our first advertisers was Millennium Effects. And they were the company who made all of the replicas, like the masks, like the Cybermen helmets, and the sonic screwdrivers. And from there, people started just to come to us, and we've now become a real hub for people who have products or services or charities as well as the other thing. And then that's basically how we've got to where I am today. So it's the Doctor Who site mainly takes over my time, as well as being a father, and then when the acting work comes, I get to do that as well. But yeah, that's sort of a potted history, as it were.
And see, I had no idea that you have this acting background in education, and that now you act. But I will tell you, a moment ago, I was thinking he should get a part on Doctor Who.
Yeah, it's a lot harder than you would think, actually. Yeah, no, but you know, you have to remain sort of professional in it as well. And it's really hard to sort of say, oh, can I have a part in Doctor Who, whilst also trying to keep a relatively professional sort of relationship with them. So, as and when, if it happens, it would be great. But I think it might be one of the things where I just prefer to watch as opposed to being in it. It might ruin the illusion a little bit.
Well, that's the attitude. Okay, so let's close this out by sharing with the listeners opportunities for them to gain the right audience for their products and services,
Sure.
By Doctor Who Online. And also people who are fans, you've got the forums and you have competitions and contests. So tell us about the opportunities that are available for everybody watching to get involved with you.
Okay, sure. So obviously, if you have a commercial product, service, or if you're an author with a book or whatever, then obviously you can get in touch with us at Doctor Who Online, and we offer obviously things like banner ads and things like that. We offer, as you know, we offer money back guarantees with our banners as well. So we like to sort of be very transparent with all of our advertisers. So we say, you know, if you don't make your money back by the end of the campaign, then we actually agree to refund you guys the difference in full. We've very rarely ever had to do that. So it's just something nice, because it sort of gives back a little bit, and it, you know, as I say, just makes things a little bit more transparent. But outside of that, outside of the commercial things, just to sort of box that up for a second, if you're a fan and you're creative, so if, let's say, if you're an artist, or if you're a cosplayer or something like that, then Twitter is a really good place to get in touch with us, because what we like to do then is, obviously, we've got quite a big following on Twitter. We've got 127,000 on there at the moment. So if you have if you're an artist, or as I say, a cosplayer or something, share with us your pictures of what you do, and then we'll actually retweet them and like them. It's just a great way of, sort of sharing it to a wider audience. Most Fridays, we actually do something called Fan Art Friday as well, which is a great way for people who are artists or who've just dabbled a little bit. It's a great way for them to sort of, get in touch with a hashtag and share their art with us.
Oh, I love that interactive, component.
Yeah, it's just fun. It's a great way to sort of, open the doors to everyone, really.
Yeah, and I've actually taken advantage of the opportunities to sort of like have even private conversations with other people who participate in the forums, for example.
Oh, brilliant! Yeah.
Where they have helped us to decide what kind of buttons we're going to use on this bad wolf item that we're going to be making soon.
Ooh,
so cool. I really appreciate, how you've just helped us to be in touch with so many people like that.
Oh gosh, no worries. No. As I say, it's the biggest sort of reward is getting to meet people like you guys who actually make these amazing products. I could never do anything like that in a million years. The real hard work is there. We're just basically a platform that people come to, like a meeting place almost, and then everyone goes wherever they need to. But yeah, I can't emphasize how important it is for people like you to do what you do, and to do it at such a high quality as well. So yeah, thank you.
Thank you. And what is the website address?
So it's www.drwho, that's drwho-online.co.uk.
Okay. And so everyone should go check it out. Personally, we love Doctor Who Online. We enjoy keeping up with everything, and we are co-following on Twitter, and I think you guys are doing a great job, like I've said over and over. Appreciate this talk with you, and that we could record it and share it with all of our communities.
Oh, no problem. Thank you very much for having me on.